Okay, good afternoon and welcome to Shulchan Aruch Yomi. Today we are learning Siman Mem Beis in Orach Chaim. We're going to be talking about today Mutter Lashanos Tefillin Shal Yad L'Shal Rosh. If you have the box of the Shal Yad, are you allowed to switch it for the Shal Rosh, right? Similarly, Shal Rosh to switch the Shal Yad. Can you switch Ritzuos? Can you just straps from one to another? We're going to talk about that today. Aleph, Halacha Aleph says also Lashanos Tefillin Shal Rosh, Tefillin Shal Yad. Once they're already made, and we'll see they're used the Kvias as Tefillin Shal Rosh, so then you can't switch it to Tefillin Shal Yad, whether it's the box. Technically, even though the box of the Shal Rosh has four separate compartments, you could take the bottom part and cover it with a new top. I think even with the Evet to have four compartments Shal Yad is okay. You still can't do it. I feel like I'm even take a strap from the Tefillin Shal Rosh, Litem Shal Yad, and use it for part of your Shal Yad. The Shal Rosh has more kedusha than the Shal Yad. The Shal Rosh kedusha chamura, Sharubo Shal Shakai, the Shal Rosh most than the Shin Dalet Yud that's written on the outside of your tefillin. The Shin and the Dalet are on the back of your. The Shin is on the top of your Shal Rosh. The Dalet is in the back of the knot of the Shal Rosh, and the Yud is in the knot of Shal Yad. So rov of that, it makes it more kedusha. You could also say it's more kedusha because it has four separate partials, but that's not ma'akev, we said before. But the other way, where you're malin b'kedusha, to switch the box or to switch a strap from the partios from shal yad to shal rosh, that's okay. Let's say you have tefillin that were made by a sofer, but no one ever wore them yet; they weren't sold yet. Mutter l'shanos tefillin shal rosh shal yad, even though obviously the shal rosh has the four compartments, and the shal yad has only one. You're allowed to switch from shal yad, the ritzuos or the partios or the actual box from Shal Yad Shetola Alei Mixa or Echad V'Nirim Tevayas Echad. The only problem is we saw on the outside the Shal Rosh Shal Yad has to look like one bias. Therefore, if you notice on your Shal Rosh, there's little indentations where the the four compartments are. You'd have to put a new piece of leather on top so it looks like one compartment, even if there really are four compartments. Let's say before you put on your tefillin, you bought a pair of tefillin. Before you put on your tefillin, you made a t'nai that I have the right, I make a stipulation, I have the right to change it from Shal Yad to Shal Rosh, or Shal Rosh to Shal Yad, right? More importantly, from Shal Rosh to Shal Yad. I feel Lav Shan Adam Yachal Shanosam, even if you wore them, you could still change it. I feel Shal Rosh to Shal Yad, because you made it tonight, right? We're going to see that Hazmana and wearing it together gives it a certain Kedusha. It establishes it as a Shal Rosh, right? When a sofer makes a Shal Rosh, it doesn't establish it as a Shal Rosh. Like, if you write Sfarim, right, there's no Kedusha until someone buys them and uses them. There's famous stories of Gedolim that, Chazon Ish, he published a lot of his Sfarim. He had, the Kilas Yaakov, the Stipler, had Sfarim, he sold it out of their house. They both sold it for a Parnasa. They would have piles on their floor. They would put on the floor, even though it's disrespectful to put Sfarim on the floor if they weren't used yet. This is what the Dirshu talks about. If they're not used yet, so there's no Kedusha to them. So Gimel says, Sudar da Azman ela meitzer beit tefillin. Now, if people don't know, the bag of your tefillin has Kedusha. So, if you took a bag or a pouch that you set aside, you set it on the side to put in your tefillin, the olam, right? You prepared it, hazmana, you set it aside, you bought it, and you set it aside, and you planned on using it for your tefillin forever, v'sar beit tefillin, chad zimna, and then you went ahead and actually put the tefillin in, even one time. Also, in Meitzar Beizuzah, you can no longer put money in there because that's bizayon to the pouch. The pouch has a status of tashmishe kedusha. It's serving that which is kedusha. So when you're serving that which is kedusha, so to use it to carry money is a davar chol. It's a bizayon, so you can't put it in there. However, if you don't have those two things, you don't have hazmana, and you just put it tefillin bakrai, you put it there after one time. You didn't prepare it like that. You didn't use it in a permanent manner, or even if you set it aside, right? We said you set it aside, you didn't use it, so then you need hazman of istarbe in order to get kedusha. Hagav and hisna alav mitchila. The Ramah says b'chol inyan shari. Even if you actually you did hazman and you put it in, it doesn't make a difference. Like we said before in halacha beis, if you made a stipulation, it's okay. Klafam uba l'shem tefillin also lichtav alav divrei chol. The actual parchment that you write on it, the words of the tefillin, you're no longer, once you write the letters, even one letter, the Dirshu says, or Yashu says, you're no longer allowed to write on it Divrei Chol, Azmana ki Agavna, Lagufa Kedusha Milzahi. Even though we hold Azmana, it's Machlokas in the Gemara between Abaye and Rava, we pass in like Rava, Azmana Lav Milzahi. You need to actually put the tefillin in the bag. For the gufa kedusha, right? The bag is tashmisha kedusha. It services that which is kadosh, but the actual tefillin themselves are kadosh, and the klaf is certainly kadosh. That hazmana we paskin. It's a chiddush of the Milki Yosef. Hazmana is milsi. We're going to talk more about this in Milki Yosef in a Shulchan Aruch. Azmane v'lo sarbe. The opposite. Or you prepared it, but you didn't use it. Oh, sarbe v'lo azmane. Or you put tefillin in, but you didn't prepare it. You didn't set it aside for that purpose. You just happened to need a place. You bought it. You needed a place to put it just for that time. You didn't plan on putting it in a repeated fashion. Shari l'meitzar be'ezui doesn't have any kedusha, and therefore you're allowed to put money in there. That would be the conclusion of today's shir. Stay tuned for Shulchan Aruch. We talk more about the Milki Yosef, who says that Hazman is milsi by gufa kedusha. Can it be true? See you there.